Nyck de Vries has revealed having discussions with 3 Formula One teams about a drive for the 2023 season, following his impressive F1 debut in the Italian GP, where he finished as a stand-in for Alex Albon. The Dutch driver has increased his chances of making the 2023 grid. The Mercedes reserve driver had previously been connected with a Williams slot, but has now emerged as a rumoured target for 2 teams further up the 2022 grid, Alpine and AlphaTauri. De Vries was questioned whether there was any truth to his negotiations with Williams, Alpine and AlphaTauri in an interview on the weekend after his Italian GP heroics. "Those are the facts," confirmed De Vries on the Dutch TV show Humberto. He denied having the right to choose his club for 2023, but said Williams was the frontrunner for his signing. "I don't think I can just choose because things are still largely out of my control. I've been in talks with Williams for a very long time, and I happen to be able to make my debut there, so that could be a logical step." The Alpine position is related to current AlphaTauri driver Pierre Gasly, who is thought to be their major aim for 2023. Alpine, on the other hand, is said to be weighing its alternatives, including De Vries. AlphaTauri seems to be prepared to let Gasly leave once they have a successor. This was thought to be IndyCar's Colton Herta, but due to the difficulties in gaining a super license, he is no longer in the running. Instead, AlphaTauri has focused on De Vries, who was seen meeting with Red Bull Motorsport advisor Helmut Marko earlier this week. De Vries stated in the same interview that the claims of an Alpine test, as well as discussions with Marko, were all real, giving both teams potential choices for next season. "With Alpine, I've been talking since July, and for that team, I will also be testing in Budapest next week," considered De Vries. "As the media have already noted, I was in Austria last week to meet Dr. Marko and talk to him about the future. So those are the facts at the moment. Wherever I will possibly get a seat, I will be very happy with that. But we now have to see how the situation develops in the coming days to weeks." Indeed, Herta's scheduled test at Alpine will not take place, according to motorsportmagazine.com. Alpine provided Herta with this exam to get extra license points so that Gasly might be freed. However, Red Bull has run out of patience and no longer wants to invest so much in the IndyCar driver. This would also bind Gasly to his contract until 2023. Alpine must also look farther afield, which, considering Gasly's friendship with Esteban Ocon, may not be such a terrible thing. Nyck de Vries, Jack Doohan and Antonio Giovinazzi will also be driving during Alpine's test at the Hungaroring. Doohan is an Alpine junior, but given Alpine's preference for an experienced driver, he is not a frontrunner for the position. De Vries, on the other hand, is a strong contender for the position after his impressive performance for Williams at the Italian Grand Prix. There, he showed his ability to gain points, and the Dutchman has plenty of experience, having raced in Formula E and Formula 2. Giovinazzi, on the other hand, has 3 years of F1 experience and may have an advantage in that regard. Nico Hülkenberg is another outsider for the position. The German is discussed at Haas as well, although he is no new to the Alpine team. He spent his last F1 season there in 2019, previously excelling in 3 years without a permanent place, mostly as a fill-in at Racing Point/Aston Martin. De Vries started the race weekend testing for Aston Martin, and despite having to shift cars, steering wheels and racing seats on such short notice, he finished well and earned points. De Vries beat Latifi's season point total in only 1 race, and his 2 points account for 33% of Williams' 2022 total in the constructors' standings. However, AlphaTauri has seized on Williams' slowness in securing De Vries, with rumours in the Netherlands stating a deal is near to completion. AlphaTauri is Red Bull's sister team, and they use the B team to produce great talent like Max Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel, and Daniel Ricciardo. For the time being, though, that potential seems to have dried up, with Red Bull fielding 5 academy drivers in F2, none of whom have been considered suitable for Formula One. However, with De Vries demonstrating that he is definitely ready for the top tier due to his Italian performance, AlphaTauri has their choice, enabling Gasly to replace Fernando Alonso at Alpine. Horner and Marko were certainly not the only ones thrilled by De Vries' performance at Monza, as the Dutchman won F1's Driver of the Day accolade on his debut and was the buzz of the paddock. George Russell, who defeated De Vries in the F2 Championship in 2018, praised the Dutchman's efforts, saying it was more spectacular than his own heroic replacement performance for Mercedes in 2020. "I think this was tougher than it was for me, to be honest. I was a full-time F1 driver," he explained. "To score points on your debut with Williams, it's pretty spectacular. Throughout our karting careers, he was always one of the very best, and there's no doubt he deserves a place in F1. There are 20 places, but now he's proved everything that he had to." But how would Mercedes react if Nyck de Vries joined the Red Bull team? They might be reluctant, right? Well, before we get back to the video, please like the video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so yet. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notified when we add new videos in the future. It begs the question of how Mercedes would react if a driver who had been with them for 3 years and won a Formula E World Championship decided to depart for Red Bull. Toto Wolff has said several times that he is highly constrained in what he can do to assist de Vries in fulfilling his F1 ambition, which he has been waiting for since winning the Formula 2 Championship in 2019. "I can't really help him," said the Mercedes head of motorsport after de Vries drove in FP1 for the Silver Arrows at the French Grand Prix in July. "We can't really tell any team to look at him and consider him because that would be felt as an interference and goes the contrary way." Given that Williams is a Mercedes engine client and technical partner, you get the idea Wolff would have been pleased to see de Vries on a full-time basis. But what about AlphaTauri? Only a year ago, Williams recruited Alex Albon from the Red Bull setup on loan, with Wolff plainly anxious about what Mercedes-related intelligence may ultimately leak back to Milton Keynes. In the end, it did not matter since Albon is now committed to Williams for the long run. However, de Vries' transition would be considerably more straightforward. What will Wolff say about that? Given what we have seen in recent weeks about how Alpine handles drivers who are a majority priority for its seats, it would be risky for de Vries to take a chance on earning a driver there when he is not even the team's first choice. There is an argument that if you want to accomplish great things, you must occasionally take enormous risks. You could make that argument, particularly considering Alpine's speedy vehicle, but you must also be able to play with what is on the table in front of you and recognize red flags. Right now, it will seem perfect to accept a solid Williams offer that comes his way. Because there are already a lot of drivers attempting to get into Alpine, at best, de Vries is 4th on the list, behind Alonso, Piastri and Gasly. So how dedicated would they be to him the next time a catchy name became available? Furthermore, a longer-term commitment at Williams could not be a bad thing to have in his back pocket if the team is going to become Porsche's most probable route into the F1 grid in 2026. We do not know what the competitive order will be in 2023, but with just minor rule changes, Alpine should be substantially higher up the grid than Williams. Despite de Vries' points at Monza, Williams still has the slowest vehicle in F1, while Alpine has a faster package. That is a very competitive seat to take, but one that de Vries can make his own. De Vries should be able to compete in Formula 1 next season. At the age of 27, he is in a bit of a limbo in terms of whether he can carve himself a lengthy career at the summit of racing. This implies that any real smell of an F1 transaction must be pursued. He has the advantage, the rest is up to the teams he is speaking with. Williams will fit him well, and he should not take a chance on a probable position at Alpine that may last until the end of the year. A guaranteed role alongside Albon by mid-October at the very least would be excellent for de Vries, who's been juggling several career options since Mercedes announced their Formula E withdrawal in August 2021. F1 is a fickle beast, so looking beyond, it may be critical even as he rides this Goliath of a rookie performance wave. De Vries' reputation in the Formula E paddock is a strange combination of admiration and criticism for his often ruthless racing tactics. If he gets a true F1 shot, it will be evident if this was perfected in the Wild West racing of 2019 to 2021 Formula E. Although more than one of his opponents privately said last season that they felt scared racing against him because of his unpredictability and unpredictable over-defending. Where do you see de Vries in the 2023 season? Please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure to subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss any of our incredible videos. Keep an eye out for the next video. Bye for now.